because we can't answer those questions.
And that's discrimination, kind of.
Doesn't matter. It's not under the Discrimination Act.
You should be able to say whatever, and it shouldn't matter what you worked as.
It shouldn't, but it does.
You need help, and you're a human being.
I have most of the insurance companies laughed at me saying, "Are you think I'm going to insure the porn industry or the entertainment industry?" They're like, "You've got to be kidding me." They were like, "No freaking way are we insuring the adult entertainment industry. No way, we're staying far away and clear." And most companies are going to say that.
Why do you think that is?
Because we're a health risk. We're a walking risk.
No, because that's why you think. Well, they would be making money if you were. I mean, if people were to be getting sick all the time or breaking whatever, they would be making more money. So why would they deny that?
I don't know.
They're the ones that would be making more money.
We're a high-risk profile. So a high-risk profile insurance companies run. Just like banking companies run. Anything?
Yeah, they do.
Yep, they run.
Fuck PayPal. The topic, fuck PayPal. Fuck PayPal. Fuck them again.
I've been kicked out of PayPal for years.
Seriously? Vote with your wallet. Do not do business with PayPal. Ever. Not even for like cam show. Nothing. Don't. Just don't.
Yeah, PayPal's bad. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, she says, when they find out you're an adult, they run away. I mean, PayPal's policies, even if they suspect you're doing something adult, they're completely draconian. They will hold your money for, 6 months, I think, and they won't release it. They will not close your account. They'll just kind of like keep it.
When I had my clothing store, they wouldn't even deal with me because of my clothing store because I had an adult store.
And then what's worse is then they ban you for life. So if you decide
I'm banned for life.
Or you have a Square business and you decide to put that on PayPal and they know it's you can say goodbye to that one too. You are banned for life if you have ever worked in a job ever.
Ever. You're banned for life. I can't ever get a PayPal. It's like, I don't want a PayPal anyways. All right.
And I have a PayPal card and everything, and I never used it.
So Bella, moving on to the next question. What's your biggest complaint in the world?
My biggest complaint in the world? I have so many. That came across my screen, and I just went, oh, God.
Name one.
I think, I think my biggest gripe is selective ignorance. I think a lot of the other problems would be solved if people bother to want to understand one another. Because, and I say this all the time, like, when I was 6, we had an encyclopedia set that was older than me. And I spent a lot of time at the library. And, well, who the hell wants to do that? Like, that was a huge sacrifice for me to have to do that, to take that kind of time just to learn. Everybody now has every fucking library that ever existed in their pocket. And they choose not to educate themselves about things before they open their mouth and talk a bunch of shit. Case in point, we elected Donald Trump. That is called a personality. That didn't happen by accident. They knew exactly who the rabble-rousers were going to be, how to get them working, and how to bring people in from the margins without affecting his mainstream credibility that badly. And that's how he got elected. He knew how to play everybody against everybody else. If people were more educated, I don't think that would be a thing. I think people would be smart enough to know they were being manipulated, and they would be a lot more standing up to it.
If I was properly educated, I would be very, very dangerous.
As an aside, that applies to this union as well.
Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
I said, as an aside, that applies to the union as well. To people joining the union or being afraid to.
Well, they're being told not to.
Exactly. Yeah, straight up told not to. You are allowing yourself to be selectively ignorant by not even asking what you stand to gain and lose by somebody putting that policy towards you. That doesn't mean that you have to do what they say and go through their hoops. Maybe that's better for you, maybe not. And I think most people fall for it because it's easier for them in the moment to say, okay, fine, I don't want to rock the boat. But you know something? Sometimes you rock the boat and it's the apples will fall off the side.
Oh, and to let you know, if you do
if you
join
rock it
the
right,
union,
if you,
no one knows that you've joined.
Huh?
It's a secret. No
Yeah,
one knows
right,
you joined
yeah.
unless you tell them.
I'll let you take that from there. Yeah.
So it's a secret. So no one, you don't have to go announce to the world that you've joined the union. You don't have to go run and tell your agent. Use common sense, think for yourself, and think about what we're doing and join us. No one will know. Unless you want them to. Okay, Big V? Big V, man. Are you there? What is your biggest complaint in the world? Oh, wait, I think we have a, hang on, active caller. Is he there? I know someone's trying to call in. I just don't know how to answer it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your biggest complaint about the world?
Oh, biggest complaint about the world, that's a tough one. Shit. You got me on there. I really, to tell you the truth, I didn't go pay attention about that. My life has too much problems of my own.
So what's your biggest complaint? What's your biggest pet peeve?
Shit.
What pisses you off?
How everything, the war, pretty much, how everything's changing. There's too much people, you know what I mean? We're missing we're killing the world.
We're changing too fast?
Yeah, we're changing way too fast. We're not adapting. We're not adapting and going with Mother Nature. We're pretty much killing her and just we're pretty much this is our world right here. This is the only shot we got.
I think technology did a bad thing, not a better thing.
Technology is pretty much speeding up the process.
Yep. To our demise. Beth?
Yeah.
What's your biggest world complaint?
Child abuse.
Aw. That is a bad one.
I'm a child abuse survivor, purple ribbon flower.
Chasey? Don't run away.
I don't understand, and I feel like kids are innocent and they're our future, and I don't like it at all. Any type of child abuse at all.
I agree. Or even abuse from people that aren't children, even people, like grown-up people.
I don't know about that.
Teenagers. No? My biggest complaint is for people thinking that they're better than others right now. That's my biggest complaint, is the way that people judge each other. Oh.
Yeah.
Because without judgment, if people would stop judging each other, it would solve a lot of issues, I think.
Well, I have to argue the point, actually. Being able to judge people is a good defense mechanism to keep yourself out of trouble. And it's, some people argue that it's vestigial psychology. In other words, it's a defense mechanism that carried back from primitive man. But at the same time, if everybody really believed everybody else was equal, it'll be a lot easier for that tweaker or that crackhead to rob you because you let them in. To a certain degree, judgment is not a bad thing.
That's true.
But it has to be based on an individual. It can't be based on stereotypical traits, attributes like skin color or cultural background.
Or
all of these things.
Or because you're a stripper or a porn chick.
All of these things factor into the way you judge a person, but none of them should be a reason to discriminate either for or against somebody. You have to take everybody at not a face value because people will lie to you, but as the way you truly see that they are based on the way they present themselves.
That's very true. Chasey?
I don't like thieves.
What is your biggest world complaint?
I don't like thieves.
Thieves?
Yes. Your greedy little paws off my shit.
Keep your greedy little paws off my shit, she says. So child thieving, judgmental, technology, beating children, and what was the other one? Bella said? What was yours, Bella?
Selective ignorance.
Ignorance.
So, okay, wait, let's redo that. Ignorance,
Selective ignorance.
child beating,
Dumb thieves.
thieving. What was my thieving?
Thieving, fucking child fucking.
Easing.
Thieving,
Child fucking.
multitasking. What was mine? I forgot. Oh, backstabbers. Yeah, judgmental people.
Judgmental.
Child fucking.
Which one is it, Amanda?
All of those above.
You don't really grind my gears. People can't narrow it down to just one.
I know, right? There is a lot of
Yeah,
There's
complaints.
a lot of people that are all of them.
There's a lot of people that are all
Yeah.
of those.
That's not what it is, you know.
You can judge those people. It's okay.
Us people.
Those people,
Yeah.
those thieving,
No,
child
no.
beating, neglecting, judgmental people, you can judge those people. But you can't judge stereotypes. Because we know who you are. You can't hide. Okay, Bella?
I think a lot of us have been doing this long enough where our bullshit, God, I'm stoned. Our bullshit detectors are on point.
Right? Okay. Bella, what is your best advice?
Yes.
And what's your best advice? How to band more of us together and defeat the haters?
Well, I said this to a friend of mine when this came through. I stopped using the word haters
Well, what word do you use?
for starters. I mean, look, yeah, we have a selective ignorance issue when it comes to the union. But, yeah, I mean, we're dealing with people who are not educated in a lot of these things to begin with. And so it's like, I have a hard time deciding who I really place the blame with.
So what would you use besides haters?
If what?
What would you use besides haters? What word?
If I was going to define haters, it would be the people who...
Defeat?
No, that's what he's saying about education.
Okay, but you would defeat the what? The uneducated.
There's no education on this topic.
So,
and use
okay.
it against us. So the haters are people who are out there spreading disinformation on purpose. And you know, I think the term union busting applies there. So I would call them union busters. If you call them haters, it makes it seem like this superficial thing, like, oh, you know, this girl hates on me because she's prettier than me. This is so much more important than that. This is a whole different scope.
Okay, so let's reword
So
that
I
question.
wouldn't use the word haters. I think it minimizes how dangerous they are.
Okay, so let's reword the question. Bella, how would you band more of us
Reword the question. I would say
together and defeat
I would say
the uneducated union busters?
that we don't have to actively band together. I think that people opened their eyes and understood exactly what it was that they were dealing with, and educated themselves on this. That they would realize that anybody who's trying to blackmail them against joining the union probably has an ulterior motive, because they don't stand to lose anything while you stand to gain. So at this point, it's a psychological game that they're playing with you. And I would say what I would do is just encourage them to stop. You know, we don't have to actively go out and recruit and organize them. When they come to the truth on their own, they'll realize it, and they should come to us. And you know what? We're ready when they're ready.
I think okay, Big V. How would you band more of us together and defeat the uneducated union busters?
How do I answer that one?
Huh?
How would I answer that one?
No opinion is the wrong opinion. No advice is the wrong advice. And if you don't have a view, just say no view.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
And if you don't have an opinion, just say no
What was
view.
that? No opinion then.
No view. Okay, Beth?
No view on that part.
Yes.
How would you band more of us together and defeat the uneducated union busters?
I would, I don't know, I'd advertise more. I would, I don't know, really. I don't really know.
Okay.
Just to be
Chasey.
able to advertise
Yeah, I don't know
it
either.
by expressing it louder, maybe, putting it out there more so people can see it. and kind of letting them know what it's about. Like, it's, you know,
promote